Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you're excited about the conversation, but you're also a little nervous at the same time because that person knows you? I mean, like, for real, really knows you. And you know they know all your business, you know all their business, so you're not exactly sure how the conversation is gonna go. This is gonna be one of those conversations because I'm talking to my siblings today, members of my own family. It's gonna be a good one, so stay tuned. I've been waiting on this one, looking so forward to talking to a few people that have known me since, I was born. I've known them since they were born. We've just had lots of years together, lots of history, lots of memories, and we're looking toward the future now as adults. I'm talking about my brothers and my sister. We're gonna be talking to them over the next hour, but first, I just wanted to spend a little time with my older sister all by herself, just so I can, put the spotlight on her just a little bit, because for most of my life, I've been under her shadow because she's my older sister. She's my sweet older sister, and I can't wait to introduce you to her. Would you please help me to welcome Chrystal Hurst to the program today? Hi, Chrissy. Cilla Willa, my sister. Okay, let's clear it up. You are my older sister.
But that's not what everybody thinks.
That is not what everybody thinks. What's up with that? What do most people think?
They think I'm younger.
Why do you think that is? Is it because I'm more mature?
No, I don't think so.
Why do you think it is that people think I'm older than you?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think one of them is because you seem to have a more outgoing personality, so they just figure maybe I'm the one that grew up kind of in your shadow, maybe? I don't know. I think that's one reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That better be the only reason.
Yeah, that's it.
The reality is, though, all of my siblings and I, we are 3 years apart, almost literally. So you're 3 years older than I, then I'm second, and then my two brothers, who we'll talk to just a little bit later on, they're just kind of stair-step right after us. But you came first, named Chrystal, because she was the crystal, the light in everyone's eyes.
Yes.
In the family, the first grandchild.
Yes.
On either side of the family. So there was Chrystal, and you just lit up everybody's life. And I did really grow up in your shadow quite a bit because you're quite an achiever. That's your personality.
Yes, typical firstborn.
Typical firstborn. So it just kind of describe yourself as a young person.
If you tell me that the perfect score is 100 and it's possible for me to get extra credit, I'm gonna get the extra credit.
Gee whiz.
You made it so easy for you to come behind me in school, I'm sure.
No, I would study, y'all, I would study and study. And I might pull off an 88. I might get a good, strong B. And Chrystal would kind of not really think about it and make the 105. So she would mess up the curve for everybody, not just in her class, but in our house, because then Mom and Dad were like, well, where's your 100? Because Chrissy got 100.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You were also extremely, have always been, you still are, extremely beautiful.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I spent my life sort of just kind of looking up to you and wanting to be Chrystal Evans at the time, Chrystal Evans.
Yeah.
You have quite a story, actually. You have quite a story. And it's been one that has been, it really has sort of kind of become the trajectory of your life in terms of ministry, in terms of what you're doing in connection with other women right now and really pouring into their lives. So just sort of tell us a little bit about you and what parts of your life have sort of made up the journey of your life, which you've chronicled in She's Still There, Returning to the Girl in You. So sort of just give us some backstory on Chrystal Evans.
So basically, I just was the typical good girl, and I actually wanted to be. But in high school, there was a guy that went to our church, and over some time, he was interested in me. I wasn't interested in him, but after a while, it was kind of like we were friends, and he kind of got grafted into our family too. And when we went off to school, he had a football scholarship and I had an academic scholarship, and we wound up at the same school. So my freshman year, I got pregnant, And so that whole good girl thing was just really, it was a shock to everybody. It was a shock to me too, because that wasn't, you always hear the thing about preachers' kids being the ones that are always in trouble, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But
by the way, we're preachers' kids,
we're
if
preachers'
you didn't
kids.
know that.
Yeah, so there's that. And so that was 19. I had my oldest child the fall of my sophomore year, and then spent the next 10 years of my life. I graduated from college, went into the workforce as a single mom. My husband and I now, together, we have 5 children, and but that season of my life, the season of my life where I was making decisions that were not in character for me, also that were not necessarily with full intentionality or consciousness about how I was impacting or hurting other people. The season of my life where even after making the decision to keep my daughter, going into those 10 years as a single parent and struggling through trying to achieve, trying to have a job and do well and make money and make a life, but wanting to also yank my hair out because it was really hard. That whole season of my life where I can vividly recall just thinking, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Is this my life? Because this certainly wasn't what I had intended or aimed for, but here I am trying to make the best of it. And so,
let's back up just a little bit, because I want to ask you, when you're 19 and you've got this baby coming, and you happen to be in the pocket of family that you're in. So it's a little bit of a, not that it's any more unique in one family than another, but you've got mom and dad who are pastoring this church, and their reach is sort of broad and wide. What would you say that mom and dad did well? And what would you say that maybe even they would admit they didn't do as well as maybe they should have? They do it differently now.
What do I think they did well? I think they were very supportive. My dad said, well, you'll still be able to climb the ladder. You're just going to have to climb with a backpack. I mean, it was just kind of like, this doesn't ruin your life.
A baby Bajorn.
A baby Bajorn, you know, or a Maya wrap. You know, there's all kind of wraps when you're having babies. But anyway, but it was just the idea that you can keep going. There was never a question about, can you keep going, or is your life gonna be okay? It'll be okay. We just gotta find another way.
Yeah.
I mean,
they let us be. We were so excited. Do you remember? I remember the day that we found out that you were gonna have a baby, and I remember right after we kind of had this family conversation.
Yeah, you were like, this is great.
I was so excited. Do you remember we went back, Chrystal and I shared a room our whole upbringing.
Our whole life.
So we went into our room, and I remember just looking at your stomach like, there's a sweet niece or nephew in there. I could not wait. And then Karis was born. And Karis she is 26 now?
26.
She's 26. She is now having her second child. So Chrystal is a meemaw.
Stop it. They're not supposed to say that word.
So Karis is now
I have a granddaughter.
Yes, you have a granddaughter and a grandson, a grandson or daughter that's coming soon.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting because here you are sitting on this side of it, so, you know, this end of all of those years of, like you said, it was just hard, but now you're getting to just enjoy some of the fruit of all of that hardship and all of that labor. But I kind of cut you off because you said mom and dad did that part well, and I was just saying they also let us enjoy it. Like, we just enjoyed that baby as a family.
Yeah.
She's like our sister, actually.
I know. She's the 5th child of the 4 Evans kids.
I know, and we keep trying to remind her
that she's not.
You are not, man.
I know, but you can't tell her anything.
No, I know. Okay, so what do you think mom and dad, because I'm thinking about parents who might be in this situation right now. So they did that well. What do you think that maybe they would have done differently if they had a chance to do it again in response or reaction to the baby coming?
I mean, when you asked me that, I was like, I have to tackle the other one first because I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what they wish they would have done differently. I do remember that my dad asked me, or our dad asked me, is there something we did wrong? I do remember he asked me that. Because I'm thinking they were trying to figure out, like, how did this, and I honestly told him, I said, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't, I think, and I always say this, Adam and Eve had the perfect parent and they messed up. So we have to, we do what we can, and then we have to know that just like we get to choose, so do our kids.
Yeah. That's so scary, isn't it? But
it is scary. Yeah.
It's scary because I was talking to some friends of mine, the older couple, their kids are now in their upper 20s. And I mean, y'all, they just raised their kids as best as they possibly could, rooted in the church.
Did all the right
youth
things.
group over their house, devotions at the table, you know, two-parent home, all the stuff that textbook looks great.
Yeah.
And both of her children right now are just breaking her heart. They have just chosen lifestyles that are so completely out of alignment with the way that they poured their life into raising them. She was just talking to me about just how heartbroken she is.
It's devastating.
It's devastating because you pour your life into doing it the right way, but still, your kid has to make their own choice, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as a sidebar, I had a conversation with my daughter and looked her in the face and said, this is all of the hard things that I've done, all of the hard places where I've done my best to love you and raise you well. You need to understand that it is killing me to see how you're choosing to live your life. We had one of those hard conversations, but I said, but you know what I realized? It's your life. I'm here to love you. I'm here to pray for you. I'm here to give you guidance. But at the end of the day, you need to know that I know that these are your choices. And I think we have to kind of love people, love our children, but take ourselves off the hook a little bit, because as much as it hurts, you can't fix it. You know,
You just gotta release them
but
to
you
the
can't.
Lord.
Yep.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
have to. Release them to the Lord.
Okay, so you got this baby, sophomore year of college, and you went back to school.
Right, because it never occurred to me not to.
It never, because of you or because you're just an achiever?
Well, but, you know, people said, so are your parents going to keep the baby? And I was like, why would they do that? It's my baby. Like, I don't know. It never occurred to me. I don't know. It just didn't. So I just figured it out.
So you're in college full time.
Yes.
And you have a baby.
Yes.
And then you've got these 10 years as a single parent. After you graduated, you've got all these years as a single parent. You're working. Okay, talk to us about that, because really, the point of She's Still There. You still there,
when you're
girl?
driving down the
Are
freeway
you
and
there,
you say
girl?
to the Lord, please break my legs, both of them, so I can be in the hospital long enough to take a break from work and figure out my life.
And listen, y'all are laughing, but I remember that day.
Yes.
When my sister literally was driving down the road and just was like, Lord, if I
Just take me out for a hot second.
Just an accident.
Don't kill me. Don't blow up the car.
Don't blow up the car.
Don't mark up my face.
Don't mark up my face.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, y'all. How many of you have ever had that day? Lord, just take me out for a little while. I just need a break. I just need a break. So just describe those 10 years as a single parent. And you had supportive family, but still, you're the one pulling the weight. So just describe that.
I think anytime you end up in a place where you're doing it a way you didn't envision, you ask yourself the question, how did I get here? and how do I fix this?
Yeah.
And when you don't see a way to fix it, you feel stuck. Nobody wants to feel stuck.
Yeah.
So I did. I felt stuck because I have to work, because I'm a single parent. I can't just decide I'm going to take a year and find my life. That didn't work that way.
Your degree was in finance?
It was in accounting.
Okay, so you had an accounting kind of job, a number punching job.
And I still love numbers. I just didn't like that job.
Yeah. Well, I remember you had to be there at like 7 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
And then it was a really, really late afternoon, and then you've got schoolwork with Karis, and so your life was just crowded on all sides. And this is for year after year after year.
Yeah, and I was just trying to figure out how to hit the reset button. In fact, I'd said, I'm gonna work for 5 years, I'm gonna get vested, and then I'm gonna bank all of my retirement stuff, and then I'm gonna get on a plane and I'm gonna go to London. We have an aunt who lives in London, and I was like, I'm gonna work at Starbucks until I figure out my next step. Like, I had it all planned out. It's like, I'm gonna take a break and live with somebody so I can, and I never got there. I met my husband before I did that. But the point is, I was trying to figure out how to...
You were gonna go to London?
I was gonna go to London.
You did not tell me about the plan to go to London. I would have gone to London with you.
Yeah, well, I didn't make it. I didn't make it.
I'm just mad right now that you planned a trip to London without me.
Well, I didn't plan it.
You did plan it. You were saving money.
Yes, but I hadn't gotten there yet.
She was about to skip town without her sister.
Just for a little bit.
Anyway, go ahead. Okay.
So I spent a lot of time and energy trying to figure out what's next. The first job that I had, I quit it with no job, and I worked temp, because I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
If I'm wishing myself into a hospital, this is not healthy.
Yeah.
So I quit that and worked temp, then found another job making a lot less money, but I had peace. And then I went from there into another job that I worked at until I later decided to stay home with kids.
Okay. And in the midst of all that,
yes,
you lost yourself. Like Chrystal is gone. There's no time for Chrystal. There's no margin for your health.
Yeah.
Your goals, the ambitions that you had, you're kind of putting stuff on the side because you got to just do the thing that's in front of you to do today. So you're forgetting the girl in you. Like you're wondering where she is. Where's that 18-year-old girl that had dreams and aspirations and was, pointed towards specific tasks? You've kind of losing her along the way. And it wasn't just this single parent situation, because then you got married. You got married to a wonderful guy named Jesse that you've been married to now for
17 years almost.
Okay, 17 years. But those 17 years haven't just been,
no,
a ride.
You got to change diapers and make dinner, and like you like to say, chicken a million different ways. How can I cook it again tonight, Lord Jesus, help me?
See, they don't know about your other children. So after you guys got married,
so we each brought a girl to our wedding and gave each other the gift of a girl on our wedding day. Then we added 3 boys after that.
Yes.
So there's his, mine, and ours.
Yeah.
And so I still have a 9-year-old at home.
Still have a
There's 14, 12, and 9 at home.
Yes.
And I homeschool.
And
so there's that.
So this is, just so y'all are clear on this achievement situation in her life. Chrystal is the kind of mom that when she had babies, she didn't buy them the organic Gerber option off the shelf because she was going to puree all of their baby food from scratch. That's just the way she wanted. She's the kind of mom who doesn't want to go to a hospital to have the baby just in case there is a more natural option she can utilize. So she's had all of her 4 children, 4 pregnancies, she's had them all without an epidural, which I don't understand that at all. But then 3 of them she had at home. So home birth. So she did that, which is awesome. Praise the Lord. But you just kind of.
If you tell me there's 100,
yes,
I'm going to try to get to 105.
You're going to try to get to 105. Okay, but that has taken its toll in the sense that you kind of lost yourself along the way. Tell us what that looked like.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think you have to be wired like that. I think life is like that. Regardless of your design, if you're not careful, you get lost in doing, you get lost in being for other people, you get lost in doing what you thought you wanted to do and then realize 15 years later, actually time is passing and this is not what I wanted to do. Even the things that you really want to do means you have to put other things on the shelf. So for me, choosing to be at home with children during that season, I wanted to do that. That didn't mean that I didn't look up and see friends or family members and go, well, that would be nice if I could do that. That didn't mean I didn't have those feelings. It didn't mean that I had to, I used to tell my husband, this is the truth, and I love Jesus, this is true. But this is the reality. When I looked at my husband and said, I need a Bible study, this is what I was really thinking. I need a break from y'all. And if I have to use Jesus in a Bible study to do it, so be it. Because really,
you're not saved.
I love Jesus, but really what I loved the most was going to Starbucks after the Bible study and getting a drink with extra room for whipped cream and enjoying it by myself.
Yes.
That was what that was about. So
Yeah.
I just needed space and time to be by myself.
Yes.
And so even in the season where I wanted to be with my children, I still was craving time for me.
Yeah.
So I think we just have to, I had to, and I think all of us girls at some point we asked that question, how did I get here? And what do I do to shift it? And so this was just kind of my
Your
journey.
offering for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point, and what was the catalyst to you kind of looking up one day and going, wait a minute, I have lost myself, I'm gonna go find her. Where is she? What was the catalyst that made you sort of wake up out of that slumber of realizing, okay, it's really 2 questions. I wanna ask that question, but I also wanna ask, what parts of you slipped enough that you were just tired of watching them sort of fritter away and you wanted to kind of get the reins on those things again in your life?
Well, this happens all the time. It happens all the time. So there's multiple. One was not having the job, hating the job. Another time it was babies. And I remember the night that the kid took off the diaper and I had to clean up the carpet. God save me, please. There have been other, looking in the mirror and going, is that you? Oh,
Yeah.
You're just covered up with fat. I see you now. That's a moment. Having moments where, just even now, like life is totally different. My kids are older. I'm able to do a few things, but I still sometimes have to sit down and say, I've got to carve out some time to breathe. I just need a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
And to communicate that to my husband and kids and say, I love y'all, but I need a minute.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. I'm in the bathroom. Leave me alone.
I'm in the bathroom.
This is holy ground in here. Stop knocking on the door. I'll be out in a minute. You know what I mean? It's just little things. It could just be that the day has been crazy. And so as I'm cooking dinner, I turn on music I want to hear and tell everybody else to be quiet. I just need a minute to enjoy this part of my day.
Yeah.
So it comes. But I think what I've learned is that when you realize that you have a need, that it's okay to meet it. It's okay to say, I want to honor the people in my life, but there's a gift in me. God gave me the gift of life, and I want to honor the gift that he's given me by honoring me. And how can I have anything to pour out in other people, in ministry, at work, in my neighborhood, in my community, if I'm not taking the time to honor me?
Okay, give us some more practical examples, because I think this is very helpful for women that are either saying, I don't see where I have the time.
Yeah.
Or number two, I don't have a supportive environment. Like, my husband doesn't care that I want to honor the little girl in me. He's not going to support that hour that I need away from home. I don't live in a place where I've got people applauding that. So what are some practical ways that we can do that when life is so full and maybe our environment is not supportive?
So just being super, super creative. So like I missed time with friends, and I would say, because I really didn't have, my husband at one point traveled a lot, so I was with the kids a lot by myself. And at one point my daughter was old enough to at least my home to be safe if I wasn't there. And so my girlfriends, I was like, I'm dying for some time with y'all, but I can't do it between here and here, but I can meet you at 5 a.m. at the Waffle House. Like, will you meet me at 5 a.m. at the Waffle House? Your kids are asleep, my kids are asleep. Let's look at each other and have a conversation. Again, just putting my kids to bed, that was a thing. Watching the movies that I want to watch with my kids, but saying, y'all can stay up and watch this movie with me.
Or go to bed.
Or go to bed, but y'all have to be quiet. Yeah. But this was me getting in me. So just finding these creative ways to do it.
I gotta say this, because this is so great. This is what I'm basically hearing you say. They are not the parent.
No.
I am.
I'm the parent.
So you get to decide, this is the music that feeds me. It doesn't really matter if you guys like the music right now. This is my time to listen to this music.
That's right.
We're watching this movie as a family. You're the parent.
DirecTV has a great classical channel, and I could care less whether y'all enjoy this or not. I enjoy it. And the china, like my special glasses, I bring down, pull out some that sparkling apple cider, and they're like, oh, Mom, that's for me. I'll give y'all some at Christmas time, but here during the rest of the year, this is for me. So just treasuring, because it's me time sometimes gets a bad rap, and it can be a bad thing if you overdo it. But all I'm saying is, like even when you'll call me and say, us girls, the family girls, we're going to the mall. I'll come, but what am I going to do while we're at the mall?
She doesn't like to shop.
I hate shopping.
So she's going to come, but she's going to have a book in her hand, and she's going to sit in the middle of the mall, whatever store we're in, she'll be right outside just like this, reading the book. But she wants us to shop for her.
If you see something, just call me in. I just don't want to go through it's too much. It's too much. Amazon works just fine for me. Thank you very much.
You've gotten some cute things off Amazon, too.
I'm so grateful.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
And by the way, this is something else I think people need to know, because for a long time there, you also you just didn't buy any clothes. You weren't concerned about any of this.
I'm still kind of not concerned.
You're still, but it's okay, because look at you.
I only did this for you.
I know, but you look good, girl. I like your Converse you got on and everything.
Yes.
That's good.
I found
good
a happy medium.
Yes.
It can be cute and
But
flat.
tell them about the website you found that will get some clothes to you, so you don't have to shop.
Stitch Fix.
Stitch Fix.
Somebody's excited. Stitch Fix. I pay $20 a month, and I get a box every month, and I can keep it or not, but it keeps me out of the store and keeps new things coming into my house. And probably every third month, I'll keep something. And then most of the time, it just lets me try on things that I would never pick. So
it's something just for you.
And then you come and clean out my closet.
Yeah, because y'all, she has this sweater.
I'm not throwing it away.
You gotta throw it away,
I'm not
girl.
gonna do it.
Let it go.
I'm not gonna do it.
Let it go.
No,
It's time.
it's not.
Well, it's time. What would you say are the main things you've learned about finding yourself again? Why, like personally, not for other people, why it's important, but what has happened in your life over, writing this book, really having to dig deep into your past again and think through it and what you've learned and what you've gained? What has it done for you to find yourself again, to pay attention to the little longings in your heart again?
Well, I have just been reminded, I'm still reminded, because I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, you know what, I could say this so much more eloquently if I would just read you this chapter, but I forgot what I said already, so I'll look at have you ever had that happen? Yeah. Where you know something and you wrote it, but you don't remember what you said, so you have to, okay.
No, it never happens.
Of course it doesn't, because you're Priscilla Shirer. But I'm saying that I've learned that these principles work because writing what I know, I still have to use it.
Yeah.
So when I am in that situation again, where I'm feeling lost or whatever, I realize that I get to choose to live. Like this thing right here, that breath, that means I'm alive.
Yeah.
But choosing to live, that's something I get to do every moment.
Yeah.
So if I start feeling a little under the weather, if I start feeling a little lost, if I start feeling a little misunderstood or whatever, I get to make choices that I don't have to walk as in reaction mode all the time. I get to proactively make some decisions. And sometimes I do a good job of it and sometimes I don't. But I remind myself, girl, you have breath, so choose to live, whatever that looks like today.
What have you done? Let's see, what's today? Is today Monday? Today's a Monday.
Today's a Sunday.
Today's a Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
What have you done this previous week to make margin in your life to have some breathing room? This previous week, what are some things practically you did this week to give yourself some space or to just treat yourself?
Well, number one is I had been walking in the neighborhood. It had been a while since I went to the gym. So yes, I went to the gym.
Come on then, girl.
I went to the gym.
Went to the gym.
And the other thing is I turned up my heated blanket a notch because I love a heated blanket and it makes me so happy when I get in the bed. So I turned it up a notch because I can.
Yeah.
Because I can.
It's like a simple pleasure that's like a big deal when you get in the bed. It's just a simple
pleasure that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I bought some Mrs. Meyer's hand soap, the one that smells really good.
Yeah.
Like they have so honeysuckle is my favorite. And I was in Target and I was like,
Target.
I know we don't need it. Dawn would work just fine, but I want Mrs. And then I hid it. So I'm the only one that can use it.
You're hidden. So it's there in the house, but it's hidden.
It's just on a special shelf.
It's on a special shelf.
So they can use the regular stuff, and then when I want everything to smell, or burned a candle, a special candle that the kids know not to burn unless I say to burn it. Yeah.
You got a lot of rules at your house.
No.
No, it's good though.
Yeah.
And you know what I appreciate about sort of what you've found in your journey is that really what She's Still There does and what you do when you're ministering to people is you really give people permission to do what they don't feel like they have permission to do. They don't feel like they have permission to take care of themselves or honor that little dream that they had when they were 18 or that little longing that they have to sit down for 15 minutes with a novel they'd like to sit down with or burn that candle or buy that hand soap that just lights their fire, that they just enjoy. You give them the permission to find that girl
And that's
that's
key
in there
word,
and honor
is
her.
find it.
Yeah.
I have 2 books that sit in my car because when I find 5 minutes, I read those. I mean, I think here's the problem. We think that, life, she's just supposed to be there. And if she's not there, well then, oh well. No. This is like effort. One of my favorite stories I talk about in the book, most of us remember Jessica Mcclure being 6 feet underneath the ground. And she was alive.
Remember the little girl that fell down the well?
This is when CNN had first started. We all watched, because they were trying to get her out. And here's the thing. They would have gotten her out eventually anyway, but because she was alive and because time was ticking, it was super important to rescue
frantic
her.
rescue, yeah.
And that's the thing. We have to understand that if we're alive and we feel 6 feet under, well, then you need to get busy about the business of rescuing that girl because time is running out.
That's good. Well, you need to get your hands on this book. And listen, not just if you're in a place where you feel like you've already lost yourself, but if you're 18, 19 years old and you're just getting going, and
let
listen,
me help you, please.
Listen, because life is going to happen. Stuff happens
Yes.
in life that you're not expecting. You need to be already connected with the little girl in you, the one who's got dreams and aspirations, who's headed somewhere, so that you can continue to make margin in your life to honor that girl. And my sister has done a beautiful job of chronicling. I wanted to say your first book, but you co-authored a book with Dad called Kingdom Woman. That is an incredible book. But this is your first
solo.
This is your first solo book, and and somebody wrote the foreword.
You did.
I
Thank you.
did. I was so excited to do it because I'm excited to see the journey of your life.
You're such a cheerleader.
Well, I am. I'm very excited for you. I am a cheerleader. I'm so excited for you, and you're blessing a lot of people. I enjoy when I hear you share your story with others, your authenticity, your vulnerability, and then the lessons. You're so practical. See, that's the thing. A lot of us hear people speak about stuff, and we walk away going, yeah, that was so great. What am I supposed to do with all that stuff I just heard? And what you do is deliver 1, 2, 3. Let's go do this together.
Together.
Let's go do it together.
Because we really do need each other.
We really do. Yeah. So thank you so much, you guys. Help me to honor and thank my sister, Chrystal Hurst.